Hello everybody, welcome back to EduTap. I hope you guys are doing absolutely good. In this particular video, we are going to solve the entire phase 2 paper of the year 2024 for the exam SEBI Grade A. In the same video, we are going to solve paper 1 also and for paper 2 also. Mind you, in your paper 1, we have descriptive English of SEBI Grade A Phase 2, right? And in your paper 2 of phase 2, we have 100 MCQs of 6 different subjects, which goes by the name of commerce and accounts, economics, costing, companies act, finance, management, right? So if you want to know the level of the questions, if you want to know what are the most important topics, then definitely watch this entire video till the end. And yes, if you want to practice more and more MCQs to make sure that you are ready for the 21st of February, because that is the date when you have your phase 2. So to make sure that you are ready for that particular day, you can take our 2 different courses. But first I will advise you that you should go and solve all the MCQs of the test series, because this particular test series will allow you to practice multiple MCQs for paper 1 as well and for paper 2 as well. But for paper 1, we have given you mocks, right? Once you solve the mocks, that particular mocks will be evaluated by us and you will get the feedback. And for entire subject, for all the subjects of paper 2, you will get multiple MCQs chapter wise. Plus you will get current affair mock test plus full length mock test and solve previous year questions also. Right. And after solving all the MCQs of test series, you still feel underconfident, you think that you need more and more MCQs, then definitely we have another course for you, which is like SEBI Grade A 2025 exclusive 4000 MCQ course. Right. So there is no dearth of practice. There is no, I would say, limit to practice. Practice as much as you can, and EduTap is currently offering you these 2 courses so that you can practice and become the best version of yourself. Now, let's start this particular video. Let's start solving the questions of the year 2024 one by one. Now, a pre-recorded video will play from here. Please watch all the sections. That will help you a lot. That's it. Now, let's start the video.
Yourself. Alright guys, now let's begin with the previous year questions for SEBI 2024. So guys, first question was essay writing, and the word limit that was mentioned was 250 to 270 words. So this was the word limit that was mentioned, and there were 4 topics that were given, and the aspirants were supposed to choose one out of them and write a 250 to 270 word essay. So first was how environment, social and governance (ESG) norms help in global business prospects. So this was about ESG. So current affairs, right? Similarly, it is related to current affairs and general awareness. Second topic was discuss how organizations and management can nurture organizational culture. So this was basically based on management. So how can organizations and management create or nurture an organizational culture? So how does an organizational culture develop? How do you develop staff members, their needs, their necessities and all that? Third topic was what role can banks play in pushing social healthcare expenditure? So what role can banks play in pushing social healthcare expenditure? So this was basically based on economy and finance. And fourth topic was this is something that you are supposed to write on your own. One machine can replace 5 average human beings, but 5 machines cannot replace one smart human being. So that is what this was. Can technology replace our brains? Can technology replace human beings? So that was the topic, and these were the 4 topics, and you were supposed to choose one out of them and write your answer on that. So let me show you what you could have written for these topics, guys. Now we will provide you this PDF on our Telegram channel. If you want, you can download this PDF and go through it in detail from our Telegram channel. The link for our Telegram channel is given in the description of the video. So first topic was how environment, social and governance norms can help in global business prospects. So you could have started ESG norms have become vital for businesses worldwide, including India, as they directly influence global business prospects. ESG factors represent a company's commitment to sustainable and responsible practices, and adhering to these norms can lead to long-term benefits such as enhanced brand value, risk mitigation, and access to global capital markets. Companies in India that adopt green practices like reducing carbon emissions and investing in renewable energy position themselves as environmentally conscious. Now, this alignment with environment international environmental regulations and consumer preferences boost their appeal in global markets. India's push towards clean energy with a target of 500 gigawatts by 2030 encourages businesses to adopt eco-friendly practices, making them attractive to international investors. Furthermore, focusing on social impact by promoting diversity, community development, and employee well-being enhances the company's reputation. So, Indian companies with strong corporate social responsibilities (CSR) initiatives are better positioned to collaborate with international organizations that prioritize ethical labor practices and community impact. Now, you could have also mentioned strong governance is equally crucial for building trust with stakeholders. Indian firms that implement robust governance structures attract more FDI. A transparent governance framework ensures accountability and ethical conduct, which are key factors for investors assessing the viability for long-term partnership. You could have mentioned in 2022, India witnessed a surge in ESG compliant investments, with global investments pouring $30.5 billion into companies that demonstrated strong ESG frameworks. In last, you could have written, in conclusion, adopting ESG norms helps Indian businesses improve their global reputation, attract international investments, and secure long-term sustainability. This alignment creates a win-win scenario for companies and global stakeholders. As India becomes more integrated into global markets, adherence to ESG principles will be a crucial factor for success, enabling businesses to thrive in an increasingly conscious consumer landscape. So this was about your environmental, social, and governance norms helping global business prospects. Second topic was how organizations and management can nurture organizational culture. This was a management-based topic. So it can be defined as shared values. Organizational culture can be defined as shared values, beliefs, and practices that shape work. How work gets done within an organization plays a crucial role in determining a company's success. Nurturing a positive organizational culture requires deliberate efforts from both management and employees. It involves creating an environment where values align with the organization goals, leading to enhanced employee engagement, productivity, and overall organizational effectiveness. Now, one of the primary ways organizations can nurture culture is through clear communication of their core values. Management should consistently articulate organization, then embedded in onboarding process, training sessions, internal communications, by ensuring everyone understands the values. Moreover, leaders play a pivotal role in modeling desired behaviors and attitudes within the organization. When management demonstrates commitment to the organization's values, be it through ethical decision making, inclusive practices, or focus on employee well-being, employees are more likely to emulate these behaviors. Leaders should also be approachable and open to feedback, creating a culture of trust and respect. Further, fostering a diverse and inclusive environment is critical in nurturing a strong organizational culture. By embracing diversity, organizations benefit from a variety of perspectives and experiences that enrich the workplace. Management should actively promote inclusivity by implementing policies that support diverse hiring, equitable opportunities, and a safe environment for all employees to express their ideas. And last, in conclusion, nurturing organizational culture requires a concerted effort from both management and employees. By communicating core values, modeling desired behaviors, recognizing contributions, investing in development, and promoting diversity, organizations can create a vibrant culture that drives success. And as the framework continues to evolve, a strong organizational culture will be essential for attracting and retaining talent, ensuring long-term growth and sustainability. So this was about how organizations and management can nurture organizational culture. Third topic was, what role can banks play in pushing social healthcare expenditure? Now, in India, healthcare sector faces significant challenges, including inadequate infrastructure, rising costs, and a growing burden of diseases. As government strives to enhance social healthcare expenditure, banks can play a pivotal role in driving investment and innovation in this sector. According to the National Health Authority, India's healthcare expenditure is approximately 3.6% of its GDP, well below the WHO recommendations of 5 to 6%. Now, this gap presents a critical opportunity for banks to leverage their financial capabilities to improve access to healthcare services, promote preventive care, and foster public-private partnership models (PPP). One of the primary ways banks can push social healthcare expenditure is through provision of financing options for healthcare infrastructure development. Now, this includes funding for hospitals, clinics, and diagnostic centers, particularly in rural and underserved areas. According to a report by Niti Aayog, India requires $200 billion investments in healthcare sector to meet its goals for universal health coverage. Next, a study by NSSO, the National Sample Survey Office, found that nearly 62% of households in India faced catastrophic health expenditures. By collaborating with healthcare providers and community organizations, bank can help further fund programs that educate the public about preventive measures and healthy lifestyles, promoting ultimately reducing the long-term healthcare burden. Moreover, banks can facilitate PPP models in the healthcare sector, enabling more efficient resource allocation and improved service delivery. So the government has recognized the significance of PPP, especially in healthcare infrastructure. By investing in collaborative projects that combine government resources with private sector expertise, banks can enhance the overall effectiveness of healthcare system. For example, banks can play a crucial role in funding joint initiatives aimed at upgrading existing healthcare facilities. Similarly, the health insurance penetration in India is only about 41%, according to Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority (IRDIA). IRDI. So, health savings accounts, insurance products, and microfinancing options can empower individuals and families to invest in health. Furthermore, banks can actively participate in government schemes aimed at increasing social health care expenditure. Initiatives like Ayushman Bharat scheme to provide health coverage to economically disadvantaged groups. And last, in conclusion, banks have a vital role to play in pushing social healthcare expenditure in India by financing infrastructure development, promoting preventive care, facilitating public-private partnership, introducing innovative financial products, and leveraging technology. Banks can significantly enhance healthcare access and outcomes. As India continues to navigate its healthcare challenges, collaboration between banks and healthcare sector will be crucial for fostering a sustainable and inclusive healthcare system that benefits all citizens. That was your third topic. And fourth was, guys, one machine can replace 5 average human beings, but 5 machines cannot replace one smart human. So what you could have written in this, the statement underscores the evolving dynamics between technology and human intelligence in the modern workforce. As automation and artificial intelligence continue to advance, the ability of machines to perform repetitive, predictable tasks has increased dramatically. However, this does not imply that machines can replicate the creativity, critical thinking, and emotional intelligence inherent in human beings. To begin with, machines are designed to execute specific tasks with precision and efficiency. For instance, in manufacturing settings, robots can operate assembly lines at speeds and accuracy levels that far exceed human capabilities. This allows a single machine to effectively replace several average workers who may lack the speed or consistency for needed tasks like assembly, quality control, and data entry. However, the advent of smart technology raises important questions about limitations of machines in areas requiring human insight. 5 machines working in unison may successfully complete repetitive tasks, but they lack the ability to innovate, strategize, or adapt to unforeseen circumstances. For example, a smart human can analyze data patterns, identify market trends, and devise strategies that respond to consumer needs in a way that machines cannot. In areas such as marketing, management, or research and development, the ability to think critically and creatively remains paramount. A smart human can assess various factors, emotional responses, cultural influences, and ethical considerations when making decisions, something machines are not equipped to do. Furthermore, the importance of emotional intelligence cannot be overstated in fields such as healthcare, education, and customer service. The ability to empathize, communicate effectively, and build relationships is essential. Moreover, rapid evolution of technology creates an environment where adaptability and continuous learning are critical. A smart human can learn new skills, adapt to changing circumstances, and embrace technological advancements to enhance their capabilities. In contrast, machines require constant programming and updates to function effectively. This dynamic means that humans are better suited for roles that involve learning and adaptation, while machines may excel in static environments. So, in conclusion, while machines have transformed industries, there should be a balance answer, guys, diplomatic answer in the end. So, while machines have transformed industries by replacing average human labor, they cannot replicate the unique qualities of that smart humans possess. In the future, success will increasingly depend on the ability to harness the strengths of both machines and smart humans, creating a workforce that is not only efficient but also innovative, adaptable, and emotionally intelligent. The true potential of technology lies not in replacing humans but in enhancing human capacity, ultimately leading to a more productive and creative future. So, guys, do let me know in the chat box which topic would you have chosen if you were in the exam. If you were hypothetically, let's say, just imagine you were in the exam and you were given these 4 topics, which topic would you have chosen? Just let me know the topic number 1, 2, 3, or 4, and just predict that what topics could be asked this year. So that is what you can see by looking at the previous year questions. Now let's go to the Pressy and RC part. Now the Pressy was about, guys, the evolution of gaming environment. So it was about the gaming industry has undergone a profound transformation since the 2000, evolving from a niche hobby into a multi-billion dollar global powerhouse. Now this rapid evolution has been fueled by technological advancements, the rise of internet, and shift in consumer preference. Earlier in 2000, gaming was predominantly driven by consoles like PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo's offerings with games solid primarily through physical media such as CD or cartridges. But in the mid to 2000, revolutionized the gaming landscape, enabling online multiplayer gaming to flourish. By 2010, the gaming had grown into a $50 billion industry with both console and PC gaming thriving. One of the most transformative developments was the shift from physical to digital distribution. Platforms like Steam allowed players to download games directly to their devices, making gaming more accessible and convenient. This move also democratized game development, allowing independent developers to reach global audiences without needing large publishing deals. The explosion of mobile gaming in 2010 further transformed the industry, with smartphones becoming ubiquitous. Mobile games attracted millions of new players. By 2019, mobile gaming accounted for nearly half of the global gaming market, around $150 billion in revenue. This growth was driven by free-to-play model. As gaming became more mainstream, it also began to influence lifestyle and culture. Platforms like YouTube and Twitch launched in the late 2000s, enabled players to broadcast their gameplay to global audiences, creating the phenomenon of game streaming. Esports or competitive gaming is also emerged as a significant part of gaming ecosystem. It is valued as, in 2022, the esports market was valued at $1.3 billion. Now, the rise of gaming was as a lifestyle has opened numerous pathways for individuals to earn money. They have professional careers and life-changing prize pools and distribution through digital media, viewer subscription, advertisement revenue, brand partnerships. And last, it was given in addition, the growth of gaming related content on social media platforms has led to new forms of influencer marketing where top gamers promote products or services there to their audiences. In 2021, gaming content creators generated an estimate $9.3 billion in global revenue. Since 2000, the gaming industry has evolved from a niche entertainment sector into a global cultural and economic force. With the rise of digital contribution, mobile gaming, streaming, esports has not only become a popular lifestyle choice but also a viable career for millions. So as technology continues to evolve, the gaming industry is poised to grow further, creating even more opportunities for players, developers, and entrepreneurs. And now, what could be a Pressy for it? In 120 words, the evolution of gaming from hobby to global powerhouse. That was the title. Now, since the 2000s, the gaming industry has evolved from a niche hobby into a global enterprise. This transformation was driven by technological advancements, internet growth, and changing consumer preferences. Initially dominated by consoles and physical media, gaming has expanded with digital distribution platforms, making games more accessible. Mobile gaming further accelerated the industry's growth, attracting millions of new players. The rise of streaming platforms like YouTube and Twitch enabled gamers to monetize content, while esports developed into a competitive global phenomenon. Today, gaming is not only a popular lifestyle but also a lucrative career path for many, offering vast opportunities for developers, streamers, and players alike. So, Pressy is not the replication of the passage. It is the gist of the passage in your own words. So whatever was given in the passage has to be brought down into core points and presented without replication or without copying and pasting sentences from the passage, but using the same information that is given in the passage, but presenting it in your own words. That is what Pressy writing is all about. And then third was your reading comprehension passage. So this was about the rise of social media in the 21st century, when TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and social networking sites, how they've evolved over the years. People are using influencer marketing valued at $1.7 billion. So you can read this passage. There was a lot of statistics there, and 1,000 to 10,000, 100,000 Gen Z influencers, 84% of influencers surveyed by Media Kicks in 2022, they earn more from influencer activities than from their previous full-time jobs. So this was about social media industry, how it has evolved over the years, social media marketing and whatnot, influencing, and so and so. And then there were 5 questions given on the passage. So here are the questions and the answers. What factors contributed to the exponential growth of influencer marketing industry? Several factors contributed to the rapid growth. One was shift to digital media consumption, rise of e-commerce, authenticity and trust, and personalized advertising experience, followed by diversification of platforms. So these were the 5 points which pushed the growth of influencer marketing industry. Second was how have social media platforms like YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok impacted the reach and specialization of influencers? Now, YouTube with 2.5 billion monthly active users in 2023, YouTube is the preferred platform for long-term video content. Instagram, a visually driven platform with 2.35 billion users in 2023, Instagram has become the go-to platform for fashion, beauty, travel, and lifestyle influencers. And TikTok with 1 billion users in 2023, TikTok has transformed short-form video content and created a breeding ground for viral trends. Now, TikTok algorithms enable users, even those with relatively small following, to go viral, giving rise to micro influencers who specialize in short, snappy, and creative content. Third was, guys, what are the key differences between macro influencers and micro influencers in terms of engagement and monetization potential? So, macro influencers, the audience size is big, engagement is obviously have a large followings, and monetization from 100,000 to 500,000 per sponsored post, depending upon their follower count and platform. Now, micro influencers, the audience size is generally between 10,000 to 100,000 followers. Engagement is higher engagement rates up to 60% more than macro influencers because they often cater to niche audience and maintain a more personal connection with followers. And monetization, while micro influencers earn less per sponsored post, typically $1,000 to $10,000 in 2022, their niche appeal and higher engagement often makes them more cost effective for brands, especially those targeting special audiences. Fourth question was, how has the rise of influencer marketing impacted traditional advertising methods, and why do brands prefer influencers over conventional ads? So authenticity and relatability is one factor. Engagement rates, which are obviously higher as compared to conventional ads. Targeted reach, you can customize and target your audience with the help of data analysis. And cost effectiveness, they're cheaper and they're easy to moderate. So these are the four reasons how the influencer marketing has impacted traditional advertising methods. And last question was, what roles do artificial intelligence and virtual influencers play in the future of influencer marketing, and how could they reshape the industry? Now, AI-driven content creation, cost of efficiency, and control, future growth. And in conclusion, you can say AI and virtual influencers could significantly reshape the influencer marketing industry by offering brands new, efficient, and highly controlled ways to engage with their audiences, potentially becoming a major part of marketing strategies in the near future. So this was your paper for your SEBI 2024 exam, guys. So you saw the topics. One was management, one was current affairs, one was economy, and one was a generic topic. Then Pressy passage was basically based on online gaming industry, and reading comprehension was about social media influencing and social media platforms.
Video we are going to solve the previous year questions of the year 2024, and all of these questions are related to phase 2 of paper 2 of SEBI Grade A 2024. Right, solve the finance question first. Right, now question number 1 is from rule of 72. The rule of 72 is a financial principle used to estimate the time it takes for an investment to achieve certain growth target. Which of the following growth target does the rule of 72 helps to estimate? Now we, in the first chapter itself, which is like basics of money, basics of time value of money, we study about 3 rules: rule of 72, rule of 114, and rule of 144. Right, so the question is regarding rule of 72. Rule of 72 basically tells you that how much time it will take to double your investment. Rule of 114 basically tells you how much time it will take to triple your investment, and rule of 144 basically tells you how much time it will take to quadruple, like to make your investment 4 times. Now just check the answers. The correct answer will be option number C, because double the investment value will be the correct answer in the question number 1. According to me, this is very easy, and if you are going wrong in these questions, then you have to ask yourself that what the effort is needed to make sure that you are on the right path. Question number 2. When the investor takes advantage of the price differences in the separate market by simultaneously buying and selling, simultaneous buying and selling, which financial strategy is being employed? Now in the chapter of derivatives, I hope you remember, and this is as per the course of EduTap, like what we have taught, right? So in the chapter of derivative, we tell you about the 3 parties which are present in the stock markets. So you have hedgers, then you have arbitrageurs, and then you also have the people who are speculators. Hedger always tries to play safe. right? Arbitrageur is that particular person who will buy in one market and sell in another market. Simultaneous buying and selling. Right? You buy at National Stock Exchange, you go and sell those particular stocks at Bombay Stock Exchange. Speculator is the person who will take the maximum amount of risk. He will try to chase profit. Now the question clearly says that you are simultaneously buying and selling the asset. Therefore, the correct answer will be option number C, which is arbitrage or arbitrageurs. Right? Speculating, hedgers, short selling, and market timing, these are not correct. Now, according to me, again, this is a very easy concept based question. I hope you would have also got it correct. Question number 3, my friends. Under SEBI issue of capital and disclosure requirements regulation, what is the maximum amount that an individual retail investors can apply for an initial public offering? The question is clear, straightforward. Under SEBI regulations, what is the maximum amount an individual who is a retail investor can apply for IPO? Now we all know the answer will be 2 lakh. Now this is what a factual question is. Now if you know the answer, then only you can mark it. And this is also covered in EduTap course under the chapter of equity markets. Now those who have studied equity markets from a great teacher whose name is Jalaj, then definitely this answer will be very, very easy for all of you. Just kidding, right? So for question number 3, the correct answer will be option number D. Again, this question is also very easy. So I didn't find any tough question till now. Next, question number 4. Under Depositories Act of 1996, what process shares undergo to be held in an electronic format? So now you have to tell me, under Depositories Act of 1996, what process must the shares undergo to be held in an electronic format? The correct answer will be dematerialization. Right, because you convert your physical shares into electronic form. Therefore, the correct answer for question number 4 will be option number E. According to me, again, this is very, very easy. If you are a serious student, then you should not go wrong in these questions, right? Because these are like lollipops which you have to grab. Next, the Bank of International Settlement primarily serves which of the following entities? Commercial banks, central banks, investment banks, international financial institutions, or insurance companies. The correct answer will be option number B, central banks. You would have heard about Basel norms. Right? In Basel norms, what happens? All the central banks go at BIS, which is Bank of International Settlements, and they debate that what should be the correct capital adequacy number and all that stuff. Right? This is also very, very direct question. I will put it under moderate category because few people know about BIS. Right? In the comment section of this particular video, do let me know where is the headquarter of Bank of International Settlements. Right? Do let me know the answer in the comment box. Question number 6. The Finance Commission of India assigned 12.5% weightage to which of the following criteria for determining the devolution of funds to states? Now we all know that 16th Finance Commission is about to start, but the question is related to simple number 12.5% weightage. To which of the following criteria this particular weightage has been given? Population, income distance, area, demographic dividends, or demographic performance, or forest cover. See, for income distance, the weightage is 45 if I'm not wrong. Right? So income cannot be your answer. The correct answer will be demographic dividends, because for demographic dividends, the weightage is 12.5%. Right? Likewise, there are multiple, I would say, different weightage. Right? And this is where your I would say revision comes into the picture. If I'm not wrong, for forest cover it's 10%. Right? For tax it's 2.5% if I'm not wrong. Right? This is all factual, and I will not rate this question as moderate. This is easy again because they have asked question directly from the syllabus topics. So be ready for 16th Finance Commission also, FRBM also, and whatnot, because these are directly given in your syllabus. Next question, question number 7. Question number 7 says, according to FRBM Act 2003, what is the target limit for central government borrowings as a percentage of GDP by the year 2025? Again, a factual question. The correct answer will be option number D, which is 40%. Right? Because as per FRBM Act, central government cannot exceed this particular borrowing limit by the year 2025. Cool. So be ready for some factual question in 2000, like in the upcoming phase 2, which is scheduled on 20 1st of Feb. You can definitely expect some questions from Finance Commission, from FRBM, from GST and whatnot. So be ready for those. Try to cover the reports which are given in your, I would say, course also. Question number 8. In the latest union budget, what is the standard deduction allowed for the salaried individual? So this is a very, very important development which took place last year. By last, I mean 2024, right? Not 2025. The correct answer will be 75,000 because this was increased from 50,000 to 75,000. Now we have to wait for this year budget, which is scheduled on 1st Feb, right? So do cover the budget in economic survey. Like basic highlights you should be able to understand because there can be a direct question on it. Which tax, often criticized by startups for hindering their growth, was removed in the recent union budget? So again you can see union budget page, straight away question they are asking you. The correct answer, now see, this is not relevant for this year actually because these are the updates of last year 2024, right? The correct answer will be angel tax. Angel tax was removed in the budget of the last year. Which of the following investment vehicle is considered as a passive investment? Why passive? Because you just give the money and then you just forget your money. The money will either increase or decrease. It's like not active, right? So you have to identify which of the following is a passive investment: actively managed funds, index, hedge, private equity funds, or venture capital. The correct answer will be index funds, because if you invest your money in an index fund, then definitely you are just putting your money in an index like Nifty 50, Sensex, Nifty Next and whatnot, and the performance of the index will give you the returns. If Nifty is increasing, then your returns will also increase. Otherwise, you don't have any other option that you can allocate the money according to you, which you can do in multiple other investment vehicles, but this option is not available in index. Therefore, the correct answer for question number 10 will be option number B. This I will take it as moderate because very less students know about it. So till now, if you see till question number 10, all the finance question looks doable. They are not that much tough. Moving to question number 11. Which of the following financial instrument is not transferable? By transferable, we mean that you can change the ownership of that particular financial instrument. Government bonds, yes, you can sell government bonds on NDS OM, right? Negotiated dealing system, order matching. Bank FD, no, this is not transferable. Therefore, my answer will be option number B. Mutual funds, again I can sell. Shares of listed company, again I can sell. Debentures also I can sell. But FD, there is no market for FD. Therefore, the correct answer for question number 11 will be option number B. Now, coming to RBI notifications. As per RBI guidelines, how many working days should a key fact statement specify as the minimum validity period for a loan within a tenure of 7 days or more? Now, clearly this question is based on the RBI notifications of the last year. This is not relevant right now, but I will advise you to cover at least RBI notifications of, let's say, 3 to 4 months prior to your exam, because RBI is the banking regulator, monetary authority, so certain questions can be asked in finance CA. The correct answer over here will be option number D, 3 working days. Now, there is no logic to explain this because this is not recent one, this is like of last year. Under RBI incentive scheme for business correspondents operating in hilly areas, what is the additional incentive provided to the top 2 performing BCs as per village? Now, this question directly relates to your financial inclusion chapter, right? So do cover the recently updated national strategy for financial inclusion, right? But the question is specifically asking you, under the RBI incentive scheme of business correspondent operating in the hilly areas, what is the monthly incentive provided to the top 2 performing BCs per village? The correct answer was option number A. Now, is this relevant for this year? No. This is not the question which you should do right now. Rather, you should solve the static based questions. But just I wanted to tell you that you should cover RBI notification of at least past 3 months on priority, because there can be a direct question. Now again, one more question based on this. Upon receiving credit advice on the statement of Nostro account in compliance with the FEMA guidelines, within how many working days must the bank transfer funds to credit exporter accounts? Options were given 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5. The correct answer will be option number 2. Again, based on RBI notification, factual question. So again, the same learning, we do not have to focus right now, but you have to cover the RBI notifications. This is what the major learning will be. Who manages, question number 15, Who manages fund of fund for startups, establishes under AIF, Alternative Investment Fund, framework regulated by SEBI to support startups in India. Who manages fund of fund for startups established under AIF framework regulated by SEBI. Now, fund of funds for startup is also categorized as MSME only, right? And all the MSMEs comes under the regulation of SEBI. So your answer will be option number B, right? Moving forward, what is the term used for investment made by the Indian company which is owned or controlled by foreign investors into another Indian company? So what is the term used for an investment made by the Indian company which is owned and controlled by foreign investors into other Indian company? Now see, there are two type of investments, India upstream and downstream, right? The correct answer over here will be option number C. Now this is the tough question based on the concepts because many people don't know about upstream and downstream, right? Upstream and downstream is basically related to FDI and FPI, foreign direct investment and foreign institutional investments. Cool. Now even if you don't know, it's okay, because what happens is, if you see the finance questions which we have solved, some questions will be directly based on statics, some can be tough also, and some can be based on current also. So current ke liye you have to do at least 3 months of current affair of RBI news, some related to SEBI news as well, right? But for question number 16, if you don't know, don't worry, right? But this upstream and downstream investment is basically related to your FDI investments, right? And if you want to know more, do let me know. I will share the knowledge about upstream and downstream investment in the comment box. Right now, the objective is to solve the PYQs, right? Next question. What is the minimum face value prescribed by SEBI? What is the minimum face value prescribed by SEBI for non-convertible redeemable preference shares and for non-convertible debentures issued by Indian companies? Now this is based on again SEBI related news, SEBI notification, which can be asked in finance, so be ready for that. The correct answer, if I'm not wrong, will be option number C, which is 10,000, right? As a rise in underlying, question number 18 now. As a rise in underlying asset prices accompanied by an increase on open interest for a corresponding derivative generally indicates which of the following: short build-up, decrease in decrease in volatility, long build-up, increase in short positions, decrease in trading activity. The correct answer will be long build-up. Long build-up basically means that people are purchasing it so that they can execute it later on. And why I'm saying long build-up? Because your open interest is increasing. It means more and more contracts are yet to be expired. More and more contracts are currently active. So this is a kind of an investment strategy. Now, if you see, we have solved all the 18 questions till now, and I would say like out of these 18 questions, 12 were directly doable. 6 were like, if your current affair knowledge is good, if your finance knowledge is good, then you can do so. And remember, my friend, nobody is asking you to solve all the 100 questions on 100. Even if your score is 80 plus, 75 plus, that is a very wonderful score to have. Cool. So this completes our finance portion. Now we are moving to the management portion. Chaliye. Who propounded the theory Z in management? Now we all know the role of William Auchi. William Auchi came to give theory Z only. Therefore, the correct answer will be option number C. Right? Correct answer will be option number C. Because theory X and Y was given to you by Douglas MacGregor. Right? But theory Z was given to you by William Auchi only. Confirmed. The answer will be option number C. Next question. What is the formula of motivational force according to Victor Vroom expectancy theory? Now Victor Vroom has given you 3 elements, right? Expectancy, instrumentality and valency. So motivational force is what? The product of it. Product of expectancy, instrumentality and valency. Therefore the correct answer will be option number D. Right? What is the key impact of high morale in the company? When you say company is having high morale, it basically means all the employees in the company are connected to the company in bad times also. Increase employee turnover? No, because if morale is high, people will stay in the company. Reduce cost, increase productivity, increase absenteeism, or is it related to decrease efficiency? Efficiency will increase, right? So it is also removed. The correct answer according to me should be increase productivity, because if morale is high, there can be 4 different cases with productivity. Either it can increase, decrease, or anything can happen. So the correct answer will be option number C, because morale has a direct impact on productivity. This we all know. Reduce cost is not making any sense. Increasing absenteeism is again not making any sense. So the correct answer looks for question number 3 of management is option number C. What is the communication network called where no subordinates talk to each other and all communication is directed through a leader? I am talking about question number 4. So what is the communication network called where no subordinates talk to each other and all communication is directed through a leader or a superior? This we called as wheel, right? So answer will be option number C. Now in wheel what happens? You have a person who is acting as a center or acting as a center leader and everybody is connected to him. So if A wants to talk to B, messages will first go to the leader and then the leader will pass it to B. Right? If D wants to talk to A or if C wants to talk to B, everything will happen through leader. Therefore, my correct answer will be option number C. Right? Fifth one, when communication is effective in an organization, it will lead to what? If communication is effective, effective means what? That everybody is able to have good mutual understanding. That will directly increase the coordination. Communication is effective means what? Mutual understanding is achieved. And if mutual understanding is achieved, people will be able to coordinate in the better manner. Improve decision making, yes, it can be. Decrease employees engagement, no. B cannot be right. Lower team morale, no. Eliminate. Increase in productivity, it can be. But if you see, you have to choose the most broader one over here, which is like coordination. Coordination is the essence of management. So if communication is effective, choose for that particular option, which is like more broader. Like if you increase the coordination, that includes like decision making will improve, productivity will increase. So coordination is the best answer to choose. Although this is debatable answer which I am telling you over here, but according to me the right one should be C only. Now let's move to question number 6. Leadership should be based on behavior, work and task, and no single leadership style is universally effective. Which theory explains this? Behavior, contingency, transformational trait, or great man theory? The correct answer will be contingency. Because contingency theory of leadership is based on this only, that there is no one best leadership style. You have to adapt to the situation and then definitely choose the leadership style which you are looking for. Simple. What is the concept that, question number 7 now, of management? What is the concept that refers to doing the right things a manager must focus on? Now again directly based on the concept of effectiveness. Effectiveness says what? That you have to do the right things. आपको सही काम करना है. But efficiency says what? That you have to do right things in the right manner. सही काम को सही तरीके से करना is efficiency. So the correct answer will be option number B, which is effectiveness for question number 7. Right? I hope you would have also got it correct. So till question number 7 of management, everything looks easy to me. Nothing confusing as for now because everything is coming directly from the concepts. Next, 8. What type of plan links tactical and strategic plans and focuses on day-to-day operations? Right? Tactical and strategic plans and focus on day-to-day. For day-to-day, the only plan is operational. So this becomes your keyword and your answer will become option number B. Your answer will become option number B. Why? Because operational plans are based on day-to-day operation only, and they will definitely link your tactical and strategic plans so that the implementation can be smooth. So my correct answer will be option number B. 9th, which of the following feature matches the concept of strategic planning? Strategic planning is long-term in nature, right? It is focusing on short-term, no. Eliminate. Concerned with day-to-day, no, this is operational. Forward-looking in nature, yes, it is. Reactive to unexpected changes, not making any sense. Geared toward immediate needs, no. The correct answer will be option number C, because strategic planning is done for long-term basis. It is forward-looking in nature, like where we have to take our company next coming 5 years or so, right? Question number 10. What is the type of a policy that is understood and followed in an organization but not formally documented or written down? So policies can be of multiple types, like formulated policy, appealed policy, implied policy, and whatnot. So see, which type of policy is understood and followed in the organization but it is not formally documented? Such certain type of policies which are not documented are known as implied. So for question number 10, the answer will be option number C. For example, if the boss of the company is coming always on formal, so you will understand that yes, this particular office follows the formal wear. You cannot come in like informal wear then. So the correct answer will be implied policy, which is option number C. It is also known as enacted based on observation kind of policy. Right? Question number 11. Which principle states that the amount of work increases but the effort remains the same? Amount of work increases but the effort remains the same. Good question. Unity of command, authority responsibility, division of work, discipline or centralization. The correct answer will be option number C, which is division of work. Division of work basically means that you divide the work among all the workers, right? But the amount of work will increase. Like if you divide, previously that person was not having any work, so now you are dividing the work equally, so that particular person will now have the work. But the effort will remain the same. Effort will remain the same means what? That I am dividing equally so that nobody has to do more work, everybody has to do the work on par. So the correct answer will be option number C, which is division of work. Right? For question number 11, the correct answer is C. Identify the type of a decision where decision is difficult to make and outcome certainty is low. Outcome certainty is low means what? That you are not sure that what will happen. Right? So tell me which type of decision is this? Although we teach decision making in NAVAD, but they are asking question over here because decision making is related to planning, and planning is a function of management which is directly there in your syllabus. So now you have to identify a type of a decision where decision is difficult to make and outcome certainty is low. So judgmental decisions cannot be your right answers because judgmental decisions are like based on your judgments. Subjectivity comes. Mechanistic decisions are day to day. Right, day to day. For example, do I live tomorrow? The answer is obviously yes. I hope so. Right? Like these are day to day. For example, if sun will come out tomorrow, the answer is yes. Adaptive decision is the correct answer, but we will discuss about it later on. Analytical heuristics are not making any sense. Heuristic decisions are not even difficult. They are very easy to make. Analytical के लिए you need tools so that you can make the best decision. The correct will be adaptive. Adaptive is very difficult to make. It's a kind of a research which you have to do, and even after you do the research, you are not sure that whether you will get the desired result or not. Therefore, the correct answer will be option number C, adaptive decisions. Next, question number 13. When wastage in the management process decreases, it leads to what? So when the wastage in the management process is decreasing, what will it lead to? Increase in cost? No, right? Because if you are decreasing your waste, then how it will increase your cost? Right? Tell me, lower productivity? Again, no. Increase profitability? Yes. Now this is journal sense question. Even if you don't know nothing about management, still you can solve it. Question number 14. If you want to read other options, you can read, but they will again not make any big sense. Question number 14. What is the term used when the combined efforts of the team produce the result that is greater than the sum of the individual efforts? So over here you have combined efforts of the team, right? Collaboration, coordination, integration, synergy or cooperation. Now this question looks tough because all the options are kind of more close to each other, but we are providing the correct answer as option number D, which is synergy. Synergy means what? That everybody is working, nobody is isolated, and this is one of the role of a manager also, or a role of a leader also. Although this is debatable, integration, cooperation, collaboration and coordination can also be right, but the most correct one looks synergy. Right? Question number 15. What is the role of a leader who sets goal and inspire others to achieve it? What is the role of a leader who sets goal and inspire others to achieve it? Now, role of a leader who sets goal. Figurehead cannot be a right answer because figurehead is like you are becoming the face of the company. Leader can be the right answer because leader will encompass all the different roles. Licensing, motivator or coordinator, no. The correct answer has to be option number B, which is leader. Question number 16. Which subsystem of HRD addresses the career path, future goals, plans and development of an employee? Training and development, performance appraisal, career path management, compensation and employee relations. Which subsystem of HRD addresses career path, future growth plans and development of an employee? The correct answer will be career path management, because in this you will do all the stuff which is needed to develop a good career path. Question number 17. What are the effects when the company improve its customer relationship management? CRM. So if you improve your CRM, then definitely it is a good thing to do. Will it decrease your customer engagement? No, it won't. Lower sales conversion rate? No. Improve customer relationship? Yes. So the correct answer will be option number C. 18th. What does a higher employee turnover ratio indicates? If your employee turnover ratio basically is high, it basically means that people are leaving the company at a very higher frequency. A company is experiencing a greater rate of employee leaving relative to its overall workforce? Yes. Higher turnover basically means that employees are not staying in the company. They are moving out because they are not happy with the culture of the company. So therefore the correct answer of this particular question will be option number A. Right? So till now, if you see the 18 questions of management, maximum of them are doable. By 18 may say I think 15 are directly traceable from your syllabus. 3 are kind of confusing, but still if you apply the logics, if you apply the elimination technique, you could have solved it. Right? So do let me know your score in the comment box, like how much you have scored in management out of 18 questions. Now let's move to the last component of our today's video, which is accounts. Which of the following is not a qualitative corrector of accounting information? Which of the following is not a qualitative corrector of accounting information? So we have reliability, but we don't have anything like conformity. So the correct answer will be option number B. Reliability means to make information which is error free. Relevance, it should be relevant to the current time period. Understandability basically means that information which you are supplying should be easy to understand. And consistency means to use the same information over and over again, or the principles over and over again throughout the time period. Conformity is not there, so my answer will be option number B. Which of the following statement defines going concerns? Going concern basically means that my business will continue for multiple years to come. I cannot say that I am doing business for 10 years, right? So you cannot make that statement. So an organization has no significant liabilities, not making any sense. An organization will continue. The organization will continue to operate its business through foreseeable future. Yes, this is the essence. So my correct answer will be option number B itself. Third question now. If an organization is being conservative while preparing the profit and loss account, come on, we can answer this question even without seeing the options. The correct answer will be principle of prudence, which we also call it as principle of conversation. So the correct answer for question number third will be option number A. Fourth one, the face value of a share is rupee 10. If 1 lakh shares are issued at a premium of 10%, what will be the amount transferred to the securities premium reserve? Calculate the premium. Face value is 10. 10% will be what? Rupee 1 only. You are issuing 1 lakh shares. So 1 lakh amount, rupee 1 on 1 lakh shares will be 1 lakh only. So the correct answer will be option number A for question number 4th. So till now all the questions of commerce and accounts are looking very easy, nothing tough. Fifth one, if 2 lakh rights shares of the face value 10 are being issued at a premium of 20%, what will be the correct journal entry for this transaction? So if 2 lakh rights shares of face value 10 are being issued at 20%, so your premium per share will be what? 20% of 10, which will be rupees 2. How many shares you are issuing? 2 lakh. So total premium collected will be what? 2 lakh into 2, which is 4 lakh. So this 4 lakh will be transferred to securities premium reserve, right? So I think option A is correct, because in option A you are transferring your 4 lakh to securities premium reserve. And yes, what is the total amount of money which you are collecting? 10 of face value, 2 of premium, 12, right? So 12 into 2 lakh will give you 24,000 in your bank account. Bank account debit. Why debit? Because an increase in asset is always debited. So bank account debit 24,000 to share capital, which is 20,000. Why we are debiting? Why we are crediting share capital? Because an increase in liability is always credited, right? So we are crediting share capital. So the correct answer looks option number A, 100%. Cool. So we have solved 5 questions now, all looking easy. Chaliye, now we are solving question number 6. Which of the following is the application of funds as per fund flow statement? Direct question, nothing to explain because this is direct from the fund flow statement. The correct answer will be increase in working capital. Option number B. Because in working capital increases, that definitely means that you have done some application. Application means what? You have used your funds. Okay. Question number 7. Aggregate cash flow arising from obtaining or losing control of subsidiaries or other business shall be presented separately and classified as what? An aggregate cash flow arising or obtaining or losing control of subsidiaries basically means my investment is done. So therefore I will categorize it as an investing activity, not operating, because this is not related to day-to-day operation. It is also not financing because it is not affecting my capital structure. Therefore the correct answer for question number 7 will be option number C, which is investing activity, because you have sold your investments. As simple as that. Question number 8. As per Ind AS 21, non-monetary items measured in the terms of historical cost in foreign currency shall be translated using exchange rate of what? At the end of reporting period, at the date of settlement, at the date of transaction, or at an average rate of period and exchange on the balance sheet. Now this is like if you have studied AS 11, right? Accounting for foreign exchange transaction, then you can answer it. The correct answer will be option number C, which is date of transaction. Because as per AS 11, you transfer non-monetary items, you measure them in the terms of historical cost at the date of transaction only. A factual question, I will not term this as moderate or tough. This is easy if you have the basic knowledge of AS 11, right, which is accounting for foreign exchange transactions. Ind AS 105 relates to what? Now this according to me is tough because Ind AS, many of the people don't cover Ind AS. At the same time, this Ind AS list is also very big to remember. Does it deal with revenue recognition, consolidated financial statements, non-current assets held for sale and discontinued operation, leases of fair values? The correct answer will be option number C. So if you don't know question number 9, it's okay because it's tough. But if you apply this elimination technique, then option C looks correct. Right? 10. Which Ind AS deals with cash flow? Ind AS पूछा है. So Ind AS cash flow is 7. Right? Accounting standard is 3 for cash flow. So the correct answer will be option number D, Ind AS 7. Question number 11. What will be the impact on the bonus issue on the shareholders and on the entity? See, bonus issue, how it will impact shareholders and entity. Entity won't be impacted because the balance sheet will remain the same. Right, because in bonus issue you are not getting any money. At the same time, it will not impact shareholders also because their total number of shares, like the percentage of their holding, will remain the same. So there will be no impact on entity as well as on the shareholders as well. Cool. Those who know bonus issue, they can answer this question very correctly. Question number 12. The net working capital is 20 lakh and the sales of the company is 120 lakhs. Calculate working capital turnover ratio. Working capital turnover ratio is given as what? Sales divided by net working capital. Right? So sales is given to you as 120 divided by 20. Your answer will come at 6. So my correct answer is option number C, which is option number C, 6 times. Right? Question number 13. An increase in debt service coverage ratio. Increase in debt service coverage ratio indicates what? It is good thing only. Company is able to cover what? Its debt repayment, because debt service coverage ratio is what? EBIT divided by your interest plus principal payment, which you have to do, right? So if this is increasing, then definitely entity is able to cover its debt payment. So my answer will be option number C. 14th. What does come right represents? What does come right represents? Shareholders have no option to subscribe to the right shares. Shareholders will receive dividends along with the right shares. Shareholders have the option to subscribe to the right shares. Yes, the correct answer will be option number C. Come right basically means that you have the option to subscribe it. It's like included in that particular right. Right? 14th, the correct answer will be C. 15th, a low cash conversion cycle implies what? So if you are having a low cash conversion cycle, it basically means what? A company has high level of inventory. A company is experiencing cash flows problem. The company can convert capital into cash quickly. Or is it company has high level of accounts receivable? Or is it like company is heavily relying on short-term financing? The correct answer will be option number C, because when you have a low cash conversion cycle, you can convert capital into cash quickly. You can like purchase assets, you can do whatever you want to do. Right? So low cash conversion cycle basically means that company can convert invested capital into cash very quickly. Now, this is a kind of a moderate question because this is based on application. 16th one. Which of the following term is used when data is unavailable for financial reports? When data is not available for financial reports, then how will you make the financial report? This is known as measurement uncertainty. Why? Because you don't know whether you have to measure that particular data or not. This is like very confusing questions. You have to read and then answer it. Last question, question number 17. A higher dividend, a higher dividend yield ratio means what? Providing relatively larger returns to the shareholders, struggling to generate profit, reducing its overall dividend payments, facing deadline stock prices without paying dividends, limiting shareholders' return through lower dividend. The correct answer will be option number A, that you are paying relatively larger return through dividends to your shareholders. Right? So answer will be option number A for question number 17. So from 17 questions of commerce and accounts, I think 12 are directly doable, 5 were little bit confusing. So if you have knowledge about them, you can
not leave behind. So today we will discuss the previous year questions for the 2024 SEBI Grade A Phase 2 Paper 2. Now, first of all, we are starting with the economics component and we will discuss the previous year question of the 2024 Phase 2 Paper 2 for the economics. Okay, so let's get started with the economics previous year questions for the 2024 Phase 2 Paper 2. Okay, so let's get started. First question is in front of you, that which of the following accurately describes the Say's law of market? So Say's law, I hope you know that the Say's law states that supply creates its own demand. Okay, so supply creates its own demand. That is the production of goods, that is the supply. It creates its own demand. So B option is the correct option. If you see the other options, demand creates its own supply. No, demand and supply both are considered determinants of growth. So the classical economist from which the Says also belong, like the John Baptist Say is also a classical economist. So he believed that supply is the most important determinant. Okay, so this is also not correct. Supply is created for the short run only. No. Demand creates the supply to reduce the prices. No. So only the B is the most appropriate answer. It is the correct answer. The supply creates its own demand. Okay, so B is the right answer. Now coming to the next question. Which of the following best describes the definition of national income? So national income, I hope you know that the national income, it is the total income that is generated by the normal residents of a country. So the national income is the total income that is generated by the residents of the country. Okay, so here directly, if you know about the national income, A is the answer. The total income earned by the residents of a country. B is not correct. The total value of all goods produced within a country's borders during a specific time. So this is about the domestic income. Which talks about the production in the domestic territory in the country's border. So the other options are also not correct. Only the A is the right answer. Okay. So national income refers to the total value of all income that is earned by the residents of a country. So A was the answer. Now coming to the next question, what is the effect of a negative supply shock on the Phillips curve? So I hope you know about the Phillips curve. It is a downward sloping curve which shows the inverse relationship between inflation rate and unemployment rate. So if the inflation rate is increasing, the unemployment rate is decreasing. So the Phillips curve shows the inverse relationship between inflation rate and unemployment rate. When the inflation rate is increasing, unemployment rate is decreasing. The negative supply shock that can happen because of the cost of production, because of the increasing cost of production, because of oil prices or wages that are increasing, the cost of production is increasing, and this negative supply shock leads to rightward shift in Phillips curve, in which it can be seen that with the increase in inflation rate, the unemployment rate is also increasing. So Phillips curve, with the negative supply shock, the Phillips curve shift to right, indicating that the higher inflation can come with the higher unemployment. Okay, so D is the answer. Remember that whenever there is unfavorable supply shock, that means aggregate supply is decreasing because of the rising cost of production. Okay, so there is unfavorable supply shock. The Phillips curve shifts rightward. That shows that with the increase in the inflation rate, the unemployment rate can also increase. Okay. Now, which of the following is the major determinant of the Keynes consumption function? So Keynes consumption function is the consumption is equal to autonomous consumption plus B YT. So consumption depends upon the disposable income. The A is what? A is autonomous consumption. That shows that even if the level of income is zero, still there is some consumption that is happening. So this consumption is independent of the level of income. What is B? B is marginal propensity to consume. It is MPC. Okay. So here A is the right answer because consumption depends upon disposable income. And the major determinant of consumption is disposable income as per Keynes. Now, coming to the next question, which of the following statements best define the trade deficit? So trade deficit is basically the deficit when we are receiving less than what we are paying. So that happens when we are paying more for the imports in comparison to the receipts for our exports. Okay, so trade deficit is basically directly when the imports are exceeding exports. So E is the right answer. Now, which of the following clearly defines the fiscal deficit? I hope you remember the formulas of the deficit, the revenue deficit, the fiscal deficit, the effective revenue deficit, and the primary deficit. So these are the important deficits for which the formula should be clear. And the fiscal deficit has the formula the total expenditure minus the total receipts excluding borrowings. Okay, so this is the formula for fiscal deficit. Fiscal deficit shows the difference between the government total expenditure and the total receipts excluding the borrowing. Okay, so A is the right answer here, and I hope you know about the formula of the fiscal deficit and the revenue deficit. Revenue deficit is revenue expenditure minus the revenue receipts. Effective revenue deficit is revenue deficit minus the grants for the creation of capital asset. Primary deficit is fiscal deficit minus the interest liabilities, the interest payments. Okay. Now, which of the following is the main function of monetary policy? So the main primary objective of monetary policy is price stability. Okay. So this is the answer. Under the RBI Act of 1934, amended in 2016, RBI is entrusted with the responsibility of conducting the monetary policy in India with the primary objective of maintaining the price stability while keeping in mind the objective of growth. Now, which of the following is considered as automatic stabilizer in the fiscal policy? That means the deliberate action is not being taken automatically. There is a stabilizer force that is in the fiscal policy. So here the defense spending is deliberate, the infrastructure investment is deliberate, but the unemployment benefits, think about it. When there is a recessionary tendency that is coming, when there is a downturn that is coming, contraction is coming in the economy, demand is decreasing, production is decreasing. With low production, there is more unemployment. With more unemployed people, there will be more unemployed benefits that will be provided, or more people had to be provided with the unemployment benefits. So the government expenditure will automatically increase. So this is the automatic stabilizer. When the boom is coming, the demand is more, production is more. With more production, more employment is there, so unemployment is less. With less unemployment, less people are provided with the unemployment benefits, so the government expenditure will decrease automatically. So unemployment benefits are considered automatic in nature. They are automatic stabilizer in the fiscal policy. You can read more about the other options also. They are the other options like the defense spending, that is deliberate, infrastructure investment is deliberate and such. But the unemployment benefits, they are automatically affecting and stabilizing the economy and trying to stabilize the economy. Okay. Now, which of the following is an economic indicator of growth? So I hope you know that the real GDP is considered the better measure, or it is considered a good measure to to see the growth in the economy. So if the real GDP is increasing, that means the production is increasing in the economy. That means there is economic growth that is happening, because the real GDP, the formula is current production multiplied by the base year prices. So the real GDP, when the current production is increasing, then the real GDP will increase. That shows the growth in the country. Okay. So the real GDP is considered as a good measure of economic indicator of the economic growth. Okay. So real GDP is a good measure of economic growth in the country. So real GDP is the most used economic indicator of growth. It measures the total value of goods and services produced in an economy adjusted for inflation. So real GDP is seen through the current production multiplied by the base year prices. Okay. Now, which of the following institution provides financial assistance to the government of member countries? So here we are not talking about loans. Here we are not talking about grants or such. Here we are talking about financial assistance. And this term is directly related to the International Monetary Fund, because three main functions of IMF are the capacity development, financial assistance, and policy advice. Okay, so the IMF is the right answer. I hope you know the functions of the IMF and such, so you have to keep that in mind. So IMF fosters international financial stability by offering policy advice, financial assistance, and capacity development. So this term is directly related to the IMF. And yes, the World Bank also provides the loans, but that is for the reduction of poverty or for the development, and the financial assistance is a key term that is related with the IMF. Okay, so such kind of terms you have to keep in mind. And yes, I know that in the examination it will be very hard for you to keep all of this in mind, but try to find the best answer. And the financial assistance is majorly related to the IMF. It is a term that is directly connected with IMF. Okay. Now, in monopolistic competition, product differentiation is done with the aim of, so there is product differentiation. We are able to differentiate Lux with Santoor from Dove, from Dettol, from Himalaya and such. So Lux is known for its fragrance, Dove for its smooth texture, the Dettol for its germ killing capacity and such. So product differentiation is done with the aim of creating the brand loyalty and the brand recognition. Okay, in the monopolistic competition there are large number of buyers and sellers, and the product differentiation is done to create the brand awareness, to create the brand loyalty. Okay, it is not for consumer surplus or cost reduction, it is for brand loyalty. So here the through advertisements there is brand recognition, brand loyalty that is created. Okay, and in the monopolistic competition it is very important to have the brand recognition and loyalty. Now, which of the following causes the demand pull inflation? So the inflation, that is the prices are rapidly rising, they are rising in a sustained manner because of the increase in demand. Now the aggregate demand or the aggregate expenditure, it is the combination of consumption, investment, government expenditure and net exports. So when the government expenditure is increasing, the demand is increasing, and with the increase in demand the prices increase and the inflation rate can increase. Okay, so A is the best answer here. And remember that demand pull inflation, the prices increase because of the increase in demand. So this is the idea. Now, which of the following models considers economic growth depends on the availability of resources? Now remember that this is the out of syllabus question, and such kind of questions, see, if you try to read all the models, so in international economics that is a complete book by Dominic Salvatore, so you will have to go through all the models, the absolute advantage theory, the Ricardian theory. So there are so many of the models, as well as in growth and development, that is also a different subject of economics that we study in masters and such. So then again you will have to go through hundreds of models, so that is not possible. So such kind of out of syllabus question, if they are coming, either use logic, and if the logic is not being used, that means there is the factual question, then you will have to leave this kind of out of syllabus question. Okay, so it was Harrod-Dormer model that emphasizes the availability of resources and the importance of the availability of resources for the growth. But such models, you cannot go through all the models, so do not put too much pressure on yourself. Just focus on your syllabus and try to complete the syllabus, because most of the questions that we are seeing, they are from the syllabus. Okay, one or two out of syllabus questions can come, but you should not be afraid about it. Leave it, or use your logic if they are being answered through the logic. Okay. Next, according to the economic survey of 2023-24, which of the following areas saw a sharp rise? So it was food inflation that was rapidly increasing at that time. Now remember that this question I have brought for you so that you can understand that economic survey and union budget, they are important. You should be going through the highlights of the economic survey and union budget. If not in depth, then at least do the highlights and such. Okay, because from the economic survey in the previous year a question has been asked and such. Okay, now scarce factor is also known as, now by the term itself you can understand scarce or scarcity means that it is limited, the resources are limited in nature. So the limited availability of the resources, and they are important for production, because the scarce factors, the factors of production, they are limited in nature but they are important for production. They are also known as key factor, because you can understand that these are the important factors that are important for production. Okay, so this is more like a logical kind of question. Scarce factor refers to the resource that is limited in availability and critical to the production process. So key factor, it is also known as key factor because it plays a crucial role in determining the output. Coming to the last question for economics, when inflation rises, it implies, so when the prices are rising, when the inflation is rising, when the prices are rising in a sustained manner, so the value of money decreases, because with the same income, now we are able to purchase less of the products, as the prices have increased. Okay, so with the same income, with the increased prices, we are able to purchase less products, so the value of money is decreasing. So this is it for economics part. We have discussed that, see, most of the questions, they were of direct nature, they were direct in nature, and if you have the basic understanding, if you have the basic clarity in the chapters, you will be able to answer the question. But as the pattern can change, and some question are also conceptual in nature, like the Phillips curve question, the rightward shift and such, it was more of a conceptual kind of question where the concept clarity is required. So I will suggest you, I will request you that do go through the syllabus completely in a manner that you are able to answer the direct questions very easily. But if the conceptual question comes, so you should not be leaving them, because it is phase 2, every question counts, right? So you should be going through the syllabus in a more detailed manner, so that you are able to cover the conceptual questions also, you are able to answer the conceptual questions also. So now I will leave the session, and the next faculty is going to take over. So thank you, everyone.
So now let us move on to the next component, which is company law, and we are going to see SEBI Grade A 2024 phase 2 questions with respect to company law. And I would strongly suggest you to pause the video while I'm reading the questions, and afterwards you can see whether you have marked the correct answer or not. So let us move on to question number 1. Which of the following are not eligible to be an independent director? So basically, when we talk about the independent director of a company, one of the important features is that basically they are required to have no material relationship, no material relationship with the company or the affiliates or the directors of the company. Why is it so? So that basically the independence of this independent director does not get compromised. So keeping that in mind, basically the managing director or the whole-time director or the nominee director, they are not eligible to be the independent director of the company, because managing director is the management executive of the company, whole-time director is involved in day-to-day affairs, day-to-day functions of the company, and nominee director, he is basically representing the interest of the stakeholder, which can be a bank or any kind of financial institution or can be the government. So basically they are not allowed to be eligible to be appointed as an independent director of the company. So basically D is going to be the correct answer to this question based on this rationale. Now let us move on to question number 2. NCLT is constituted by whom? Option A, state government. Option B, high court. Option C, Supreme Court. Option D, central government. Or option E, Ministry of Corporate Affairs. So basically, if we talk about NCLT, as per company law, NCLT, we know it is constituted by the central government, right? Although I would say it functions under the administrative control of Ministry of Corporate Affairs, but the legal authority to constitute this NCLT, it rests with the central government, right? Not with the state government, not with the courts, not with specifically any other body. You have to remember central government only as a part of it. So basically D is going to be the correct answer to this question. Now moving on to question number 3. Which of the following methods is a public company not allowed to use to issue shares? So basically, as you can see, if you see the options over here, option A, rights issue, option B, bonus issue, option C, employee stock option, option D, tender issue, and option E, all of the above. So the correct answer to this question is going to be tender issue. Tender issue is not there for issuing shares. It is basically for the buyback, right? It is used for that purpose, not for issuing shares. So D is going to be the correct answer to this question. Now moving on to question number 4. What is the maximum time limit for preference shares as per Companies Act 2013? Option A, 10 years, B, 15, C, 20, D, 25, or E, 30 years. So the correct answer to this question as per company law, it is going to be the C option, that is 20 years. Because if we talk about the preference shares, right? So as per company law, all preference shares that are there, they must be redeemable. They must be redeemable within the prescribed time limit, right? And if we talk about the maximum time limit that is there for the redeemable preference shares, it must be redeemed within 20 years, 20 years from the date of issue, right? So that is something that is going to be the answer to this question. So C is going to be the correct answer. Now moving on to question number 5. Every company shall inform the registrar within dash days the receipt of the director identification number. So for this question, the options are 7 days, B, 10 days, C, 15 days, D, 30 days, and E, 45 days. And the correct answer to this question is going to be C, 15 days, because when we talk about company law, right, every company is required to furnish this director identification number right, of all its director to the ROC, and that has to be done within 15 days, right? So this is something that is very important. If you want to see the key timelines with respect to this DIN that you need to remember, the first timeline that you need to know is 30 days, राइट और जो सेकंड टाइमलाइन जो आपको याद रखनी है वो है 15 डेज. अब 30 डेज वाले में क्या होता है, बेसिकली the director must intimate the company, right? It must intimate the company within this 30 days, or you can say 1 month, of receiving it from the central government. The moment he receives this DIN from the central government, he must intimate the company within 30 days. Now, what this company has to do, suppose the director has given it to the company. Now the company is going to inform the registrar about it, right? And that has to be done within 15 days. So these two important timelines that you have to remember, 15 days and 30 days and 15 days as a part of this mechanism. So I hope it is clear to you, and the answer to this question is going to be 15. Question number 6. What is the age limit for directors of a company as per Company Act 2013? So option A, 18 to 65, option B, 21 to 70, option C, 25 to 75, option D, 30 to 70, and option E, 21 to 65. So the correct answer as per company law, if you talk about company law, if you talk about the minimum age is basically 21 years, right? And if you talk about the maximum age is basically 70 years, right? And there is some sort of exception also. Basically, a person, even if he has attained this age of 70 years, right, he can still continue, or he can still be appointed to this position if a special resolution has been passed with respect to it, right? And apart from that, an explanatory statement has also to be provided, which is some sort of justification that is there, that why this special resolution has been passed, but that can be extended. But I would say in ordinary circumstances, the minimum age is 21 and the maximum is 70. So B is going to be the correct answer to this question. Now moving on to next one, question number 7. If a company or director wants to create a mechanism for the resolution of matters involving 1000 stakeholders or more, what this mechanism is called? So if a company or director wants to create a mechanism for the resolution of matters involving 1000 stakeholders or more, what is this mechanism called? So basically this mechanism is basically called, it is considered as the stakeholder committee, right? So it is stakeholder relationship committee, to be very precise, right? So as per Company Act, every company that constitutes more than 1000, that can constitute more than 1000 shareholders, right, or debenture holders, or you can say deposit holders that are there, right, at any time they are required to constitute this stakeholder relationship committee. That is something that is mandatory. And what is the purpose? The purpose is basically to resolve the grievances of the security holders of the company. So C is going to be the correct answer to this question. So this is the mechanism that they have to create as a part of it. Now moving on to question number 8. As per section 125 of the Company Act, which fund is constituted? As per section 125 of the Companies Act, which fund is constituted? Option A, Corporate Social Responsibility Fund. Option B, National Company Law Tribunal. Option C, Investor Education and Protection Fund. Option D, Employees Provident Fund. And option E, Environmental Protection Fund. So we know that as per section 125 of the company law, which fund is basically created? It is basically Investor Education and Protection Fund, right? And basically as a part of this Investor Education and Protection Fund, different type of unclaimed or unpaid amounts that are there, right, that remained untouched for certain number of years, they are basically transferred to this IEPF as a part of it, right? And I would suggest you to read more about this IEPF. पूरा प्रोसेस समझो कि यार किस तरह के unclaimed जो अमाउंट है जो यहाँ पर ट्रांसफर होते हैं, what is the timeline that is there, right? What is unpaid dividend account? ये सारी चीजें एक बार इस पूरे प्रोसेस को समझो, that how does it work? It is important for your exam because questions have been asked from this area in other years also, right? Apart from 2024. So I would suggest you to read about this Investor Education and Protection Fund and more about the other sections that are related to this section 125, right? So that is my suggestion. So please go for it. Now let us move on to question number 9. An appeal to the Supreme Court from the NCLAT. An appeal to the Supreme Court from NCLAT can be made within how many days? Option A, 30 days. Option B, 45 days. Option C, 60 days. option D 90 days, or option E 120 days. So the correct answer to this question is going to be 60 days, right? 60 days is a time limit within which basically the appeal must be filed with the I would say to the Supreme Court against the NCLAT order. So this is something 60 days as a part of it. Now my question to you is, that is a part of a homework, you can write it as a part of comment box, that within how many days the appeal can be filed against the order of NCLT, right, to NCLAT. तो इसका time क्या होता है? This is something that I want you to write as a part of the comment box, right? Now moving on to question number 10. In special case, an auditor of a company can be removed by an order from which authority? So in special case, the auditor of a company can be removed by an order from which authority? So option A, tribunal, option B, central government, option C, district court, option D, shareholders, or option E, none of the above. So the correct answer to this question is going to be the tribunal. A is going to be the correct answer. So first of all, there is a normal rule, right? So basically in the normal rule, what basically happen when the auditor is removed, it can be removed by passing of any kind of special resolution, that is in the general meeting. And apart from that, I would say the prior approval of the central government is also required. These two things are there as a part of the normal rule, that is under normal circumstances. But if I talk about the special rule, that is under special case, that is there, right? So in this case, the tribunal can also come into action, and if the tribunal is, if it is, I would say, convinced, if the tribunal is satisfied with the fact that this certain type of auditor has been involved in certain type of fraudulent activity, or you can say he has been involved in any kind of fraud, right, any kind of fraud, or you can say any kind of corruption that is there. So what the tribunal can do, tribunal can basically pass an order that can remove the auditor from his office, right? So this is something that can be done under the special scenarios, right? These are the scenarios that I have shared with you. So in these scenarios that can happen, but under normal circumstances there is no such kind of provision. Only special resolution is required and prior approval of the central government is required. But the question is about special case, so A is going to be the correct answer to this question, right? So I hope it is clear to you. Question number 11. A firm shall be eligible for appointment. A firm shall be eligible for appointment as an auditor of a company. So we know that there can be individual auditor and there can be firm-based auditor also, right? So the question is about firm-based auditor. A firm shall be eligible for appointment as an auditor of a company, provided that a firm whereof dash practicing in India are qualified for appointment as aforesaid may be mentioned by its firm name to be auditor of a company. So option A, all partners, option B, majority of the partners, option C, any of the partner, option D, half of the partner, and option E, none of the above. So basically if you talk about company law, it says that a firm can be appointed as a auditor of a company, right, if basically first of all the majority of the partners of the company, right, majority of the partners are practicing in India and they are qualified to be appointed as an auditor of the company, right? So they have to be qualified and they have to be practicing in India. So the answer to this question is going to be the B option, that is a majority of the partner that is going to be there. This is a very important thing. I want you to read more about it. जो auditor वाले chapter है आपके, इंडिपेंडेंट डायरेक्टर होगी, डायरेक्टर की रोटेशन होगी, ये सारी जो चीजें हैं ये आपको थोड़ा ध्यान से पढ़नी चाहिए बिकॉज यहाँ से क्वेश्चन आते हैं, स्पेशली आपका एनसीएलटी वाला चैप्टर, दैट इज एक्सट्रीमली इंपॉर्टेंट. सो मेक श्योर दैट यू हैव अ गुड कमांड ओवर दिस टॉपिक एंड दीज आर वेरी बेसिक थिंग्स. You can see the nature of question is not very much difficult and I would say answerable, right? So B is going to be the correct answer to this question. Now question number 12. Dividend should be transferred to a separate bank account from how many days after the declaration of the dividend? So when the dividend has been declared, within how many days it should be transferred to a separate bank account? So option A 3 days, option B 5 days, option C 7 days, option D 10 days, and option E 15 days. So the correct answer to this question is going to be 5 days, right? Because if you talk about the life cycle of dividend payment, right? So basically the declaration of dividend, right, it has to be moved to a separate bank account within 5 days. This is something that you would be knowing, right? I think it is under section 123, right? So within 5 days it has to be move to a separate bank account. Then if you talk about the dividend, right, if you talk about basically if you're not able to pay it, if there is failure of pay, so I want you to read about this timeline also, right, which is basically 7 days, right, which is basically 7 days if you're failed to do so. And apart from that, you must read about the final transfer also, because final transfer happens where if the money stays in unpaid dividend account, then the final transfer has to be done as a part of IEPF, right? As a part of IEPF. So within how many days it is transferred to IEPF? It is within 7 years, right? So after, if the money stays in the unpaid dividend account for 7 years, then after 7 years it is going to get transferred to IEPF. तो ये पूरा प्रोसेस है, मैंने आपको थोड़ा ब्रीफली बताया, बट इसके बारे में एक बार डिटेल में पढ़ना, दैट व्हाट इज द टाइमलाइन, व्हाट इज द लाइफ साइकिल that is there with the dividend, right? With respect to a dividend payment, it is important for the exam and I want you to read it, right? और आप देख सकते हो यहाँ से 2 क्वेश्चन आ चुके हैं, 2-3 क्वेश्चन मैंने आपको अभी बता दिए हैं. एक तो पहले हमने IEPF का स्पेसिफिक क्वेश्चन देखा, that was related to section 125, right? And this one also you can see over here that the question is related to dividend only. तो ये चैप्टर को पढ़ना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, it is important for your examination, so make sure that you are reading it. Now moving on, let us move on to question number 13. As per section 71 of the Company Act, if a company wants to issue debentures to more than 500 members, if a company wants to issue debentures to more than 500 members, it must appoint a dash before issuing a prospectus or making an offer to the public. Option A, financial advisor. Option B, debenture trustee. Option C, company secretary. Option D, auditor. And option E, registrar. So the correct answer to this question is going to be what? It is going to be the debenture trustee, because basically when a company is issuing the debenture basically to more than 500 members, right, it can be either through the prospectus or it can be an offer to the public, right? So in that scenario, basically what is going to happen, it is mandatory for the company to appoint a debenture trustee as a part of it. And what is going to be the role of the debenture trustee? It is going to work in a total unbiased manner, so that basically the interest of the debenture holders, they can be secured, they can be protected as a part of it. So he is going to monitor the compliance, right? He is going to monitor the compliance measures, and apart from that, if any kind of default is there by the company, so it can take the action also as a part of its duty, as a part of its responsibility. So that is why basically the debenture trustee is appointed as a part of it, and B is going to be the correct answer to this question. Now moving on to question number 14th. Which of the following services are auditors permitted to render? Which of the following services are auditors permitted to render? So option A, auditing the financial book. Option B, management services. Option C, internal audits. Option D, accounting. And option E, all of the above. So basically if you see it over here, in order to understand the background of this question, right, I would suggest you to read section 144 of Company Act. क्योंकि आप 144 पढ़ोगे ना Company Act की, वहां पर आपको साफ साफ दिखेगा that there are certain areas where the auditors, where basically the auditors, they are not allowed to provide these certain type of services. कुछ ऐसी services है जो auditor को provide करना allowed नहीं है. ये मैं आपको suggest करूंगा, एक बार section 144 को नजर मारो, ठीक है? वहां पर आपको आराम से वो लिस्ट दिखेगी और इस लिस्ट को एक दो बार पढ़ लोगे तो आपको समझ में आ जाएगा. And I multiple times as a part of the classes I have explained the rationale also behind it, but अभी सारी चीजें नहीं डिस्कस कर सकते. तो सेक्शन 144 के थ्रू होना आपको पता लगेगा that auditors, they are prohibited basically to provide different type of services, for example services related to internal audits, right? तो ये भी allowed नहीं है. The management services are also not allowed. The accounting and I would say bookkeeping services, they are also not allowed as a part of it. Apart from that, the investment advisory services, ये भी allowed करना नहीं, क्योंकि ये सारी चीजें जो हैं, all such type of things that are there, they basically somewhere they have the scope to compromise the independence of the auditor. ठीक है? तो हम नहीं चाहते कि उसकी independence किसी भी तरह compromise हो, so that is why these type of services are not allowed for the auditor to be performed, right? So that there is no situation of conflict of interest, and office of profit situation is also not there. So based upon that, A is the only option that is going to be the correct answer to this question. तो ये section एक बार देख लेना, ठीक है? तो यहाँ पर आपको इसका एक clear cut थोड़ा detailed answer मिल जाएगा. Question number 15th. पब्लिक ऑफर्स ऑफ सिक्योरिटीज मस्ट बी इन डैश. तो ये तो बहुत इजी क्वेश्चन है, इससे इजी क्वेश्चन मुझे नहीं लगता आपको मिल सकता है एग्जाम में, राइट? इसका आंसर है डीमैट फॉर्म, ठीक है? तो फिजिकल फॉर्म को हम खत्म कर रहे हैं, राइट, बिकॉज ऑफ द डिफरेंट चैलेंजेस दैट आर एसोसिएटेड विद इट. सो द पब्लिक ऑफर सिक्योरिटी, दे मस्ट बी अवेलेबल इन, दे मस्ट बी इशूड ओनली इन डीमैट फॉर्म, व्हिच इज नथिंग बट द डीमेटेरियलाइज्ड फॉर्म, राइट? सो दैट इज गोइंग टू बी द करेक्ट आंसर टू दिस क्वेश्चन. ये तो बहुत इजी क्वेश्चन है, इसमें तो एक्सप्लेनेशन की भी जरूरत नहीं है, बहुत ही स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड आंसर होगा इसका. मूविंग ऑन टू क्वेश्चन नंबर 16th. An alternate director can be appointed for a director during his absence from India for a period of not less than what? Not less than dash, right? So A 1 month, B 2 month, C 3 month, D 6 month, and E 12 month. So the correct answer to this question is going to be what? It is going to be basically 3 months as a part of it, right? So we know that alternate director it can be appointed by the board of director. And when he gets appointed, basically, first of all, the director that is there, he is absent from India. That is the first thing. And the second thing is that basically his absence is not less than 3 months, right? So it is not less than 3 months. So that is going to be the two criterias, and this is something that has been asked as a part of the question. So C is going to be the correct answer. Question number 17, which is basically, I think, is the last question. So the tribunal may at any time within dash from the date of the order with a view to rectifying any mistakes apparent from the record. So question ये बोल रहा है कि the tribunal that is there, it may within dash days or within dash years from the date of the order with a view to rectifying any mistake apparent from the record amend any order. तो मतलब जो ट्राइब्यूनल ने ऑर्डर दिया तो उसको अपना ऑर्डर अमेंड करना है, तो वो कितने टाइम में हो सकता है, राइट? एंड शेल मेक एनी सच अमेंडमेंट इफ द मिस्टेक इज ब्रॉट इनटू इट्स नोटिस बाय द पार्टीज, राइट? सो द ऑप्शंस आर A 1 year, B 2 years, C 3 years, D 6 months and E 5 months. So the correct answer to this question is going to be 2 years. ठीक है, तो 2 साल होता है. So tribunal what it can do, it can rectify any mistake, right? जो उसके रिकॉर्ड में कोई मिस्टेक है, it can basically rectify it and it can be basically within 2 years from the date of द ऑर्डर, राइट? और ये जो मिस्टेक रेक्टिफिकेशन होती है, जरूरी नहीं है कि ट्राइब्यूनल को कोई बताएगा आकर इफ समबडी इज फाइलिंग द अपील और कंप्लेंट देन ओनली इट विल बी एबल टू रेक्टिफाई. दैट इज नॉट द सिनेरियो बिकॉज इट कैन बी रेक्टिफाइड, द ऑर्डर कैन बी रेक्टिफाइड ऑन अ सीओ मोटो बेसिस ऑल्सो. सीओ मोटो का मतलब क्या है? ऑन इट्स ओन. इट बेसिकली मीन्स ऑन इट्स ओन. अगर ट्राइब्यूनल को खुद भी आइडेंटिफाई होगा कि इस ऑर्डर में कोई रिकॉर्ड में कोई मिस्टेक है, सो दे कैन रेक्टिफाइड बाय देमसेल्फ विद इन दिस 2 years. और ऑफ कोर्स इट कैन बी थ्रू द एप्लीकेशन बाय द पार्टी ऑल्सो. इफ एनी पार्टी दैट इज देयर, right, if it feels that basically tribunal order has to be amended, right, if there is certain type of mistake, so it can basically pass the application and based on that the order can be rectified, the mistake can be rectified. So based on that, B is going to be the correct answer to this question. So now we have seen all the questions that are there with respect to company law asked in the year 2024 phase 2 paper 2, and I hope it was helpful. Now after that, basically Ashima ma'am is going to continue and you are going to see the costing questions also.
So let us now start with the subject costing. So this is the question number 1, that you have to calculate the cost of production with the following information: material cost, labor cost, setup cost, manufacturing overheads is given to you 20% of the direct labor cost, and selling overheads is also given to you 10% of the direct labor cost. Now you just pause this video, try to answer this question and then come back to the solution, right? Now in the cost of production, we know that selling overheads is not a part of cost of production, because here I just want to find out the production cost. So the material cost, labor cost and the setup cost, which are mostly the direct cost, that can be included, and the manufacturing overheads, that is my production overhead, you can say, that is also included. Now just add your direct cost was 600 plus 150 plus 200, that will come out to be how much? This comes out to be 800, 900 and 950 rupees. And the manufacturing overheads, that is 20% of the direct labor cost. So 20% of how much? Direct labor cost, that is 150. 20% of 150 is how much? Just calculate. That is 30 rupees, right? That is 30 rupees. So 30 rupees will also be added to the to find out the cost of production, that is 980, right? So 980 is the correct answer, that is option number D. So all those who have answered it well, very good everyone. Okay. Now, moving on to the question number 2, you have to calculate the differential cost if the cost at 70% activity is 30,000 and 85% activity is 39,000. Now, most of the students can get confused. वो क्या करने के लिए लगेंगे? 70% निकालने की कोशिश करेंगे 30,000 का. But नहीं. We have to find out the differential cost. That is the difference between two activity levels. It is such a simple question. Just at two different activity levels, two alternative activity levels, we have to find out the difference between the two costs. That is 39,000 minus 30,000. What is the difference? 9,000. So 9,000 is the difference and makes it the correct answer. That is option number C. Okay, easy again. Okay, moving on to the question number 3. Again, see, canteen expense for factory workers is classified as. Now, इसमें थोड़ा सा दिमाग यूज करना है हमने कि हम बात कर रहे हैं factory workers की. So when we are talking about the factory workers, we are talking about the production department. So of course, first of all, we are talking about the production department. Okay, and then we have the canteen expense. Is canteen expense a direct cost? Is direct cost for the factory workers? Of course not. Why? Because this canteen expense is not directly attributable to the product cost, right? It is not helping to make the product. So it is basically an indirect cost. It is basically an indirect cost. Now let us see the options. First is the administrative overheads. So administrative overheads is basically, you can say, office overheads. So is it a part of office? Again, no. So yes, A answer to हमारा चला गया. Then option number B, that is selling and distribution overheads. Again, is this a part of selling? Is this a part of selling overheads? That is to sell this product? Again, no. Then is it a direct cost? ये तो पक्का ही नहीं है. Then production overheads. Yes, because it is a part of production department and because this is an indirect cost, so it becomes a part of production overheads. This becomes the right answer, that is the production overheads. Next is the financial overheads. Now you can get confused here also, because financial overheads are what? These are also indirect costs. Okay, but here it is mentioned that it is for the factory workers. Now it is given, it is stated that it is for the production department, that is for the factory. So hence we can just write down, we can state that, okay, this is the production overheads and not the financial overhead, right? So option number D is the correct answer. Coming to the question number 4, if the input units are 300, okay, with the normal loss of 30% and the units produced are 190, then there will be abnormal gain or loss. Then now again pause this video, try to calculate and then come back to the solution. Now, input units kitne hai? 300. There is a normal loss of how much? 30%. So first of all, we need to find out that, okay, how many units that I'm expecting after my normal loss. So 300 minus 30%. So what is 30% of 300? How much it is? 90. So can I say 300 minus 90 units? That will be how much? 210. So this much I am expecting after my normal loss. But how many units are actually produced? How many units are actually produced? 190. So that means I'm again short of 20 units. Okay, that means this is what? This is my abnormal loss, because I am not expecting this loss. This 20 units is extra loss over and above my normal loss. So this 20 units will be stated as the abnormal loss. So what will be the answer? Option number B, abnormal loss of 20 units, right? Okay, moving ahead, question number 5. This is again a numerical based question. If the break-even point is 20 lakhs and the fixed cost is 5 lakhs, you have to calculate the profit volume ratio. Now, this is a formula based question. You need to remember the formula if you want to answer such questions. Okay, so the break-even point is given to you, fixed cost is given to you, you have to calculate the PV ratio. Again, pause this video, try to calculate on your own. So the formula is what? PV ratio is equal to fixed cost upon break-even point, So just calculate into 100, है ना? So 5 lakh divided by that is break-even point 20 lakh into 100. So just try to calculate this. This will be 1 by 4 and this reduces down 25%. So it comes 25%, that is option number C, right? So you have to remember the formula that PV ratio is equal to fixed cost upon the break-even point into 100. You will be able to calculate. But if you don't know the formula, then it will be very difficult for you to answer, right? So question number 6. Question number 6 is again formula based. Given a PV ratio of 30%, fixed cost is given to you, selling price is given to you 100 per unit. You have to again calculate the break-even point. In the previous question, break-even point was given to you. Now PV ratio is given to you. Again, it is easy. Now we have to calculate the break-even point, right? So how will you calculate? Fixed cost upon PV ratio. The formula is almost the same. You just have to see how will you, organize it. So break-even point is equal to fixed cost upon PV ratio. This will give you in rupees, right? So fixed cost is how much? 90,000. 90,000 divided by PV ratio, that is 30%, or you can say 30 into 100 here. So you will calculate this, you will get how much? You will get 3 lakh rupees. So you'll get 3 lakh rupees. But you don't want in rupees, you want in number of units, right? The options are given in units. So how will you find this out? Selling price is given to you. that is rupees 100 per unit. So you will just divide 3 lakh divided by the selling price, that is 100 rupees, and you will get the number of units, right? So 3000 will be the number of units. Again, the crux is that you need to remember the formula, right? So you have it in rupees, you have the break even point in rupees, that is at the situation when there is no profit and no loss, you have the number of you have it in rupees. Now you can calculate in the units by dividing it by the selling price, already given you in the question. So 3000 is the number of units, so the answer comes out to be option number B, right? Let us move ahead. If the desired profit is 20,000, fixed cost is 1,50,000, PV ratio is also given to you, what is the required sales? Now again, if you know the formula, pause this video, try to answer this and then come back. But if you don't know the formula, then let us do the question. Now, you have to find out the required sales. What is the formula? Sales is equal to fixed cost plus profit divided by PV ratio, right? Is this the formula? Right. So fixed cost is how much? 1,50,000 plus profit is given to you 20,000 divided by the PV ratio, that is 50% or 50 into 100. So just try to calculate. This will be 1,70,000 divided by 50 into 100. So when you will calculate this, you will get how much? You will get 17 into 2, 34. 34, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 3,40,000. So 3,40,000, answer is option number C, right? So this is all, the game of formulas. If you remember the formulas, you'll be able to answer these questions. Coming to question number 8. In cycle manufacturing business, which method of costing is most appropriate? So when I have a cycle, okay, now cycle has so many, things like a chain, है ना, cycle की chain होती है. Then it has wheels, right? Then I need to paint the cycle, right? So basically it has different components, this cycle. So when I'm making a chain is basically a very, you can say similar chains are made for every cycle. So basically we can use process costing here because similar type of products are being used, right? In the wheels, basically one company is making wheels for different cycles or cycle brands. For example, one company, ABC Limited, for example, is making for Avon cycles also, it is making for Hero cycles also. So basically what they use is batch costing. They'll use what? Batch costing for the wheels. So, and for the paint is basically according to the customer, according to the demand of the customer. So basically paint is what? Job costing. It is unique for every cycle. So here we can use job costing. So basically, can you see different types of costing we are using for making one cycle, right? So here we are using what? Here we'll be using what? A multiple costing. Here we'll be using multiple costing because we are using different methods of costing, right? Not job costing, not process costing, not batch costing, but yes, we'll be using the integrated version of it, that is the multiple costing. Okay, contract costing is basically not the correct answer because contract costing is for the long projects, है ना, that is for long term. So contract costing तो बिल्कुल भी इसका सही आंसर नहीं होगा, right? So this is multiple costing. Question number 9, again, it's a formula based question, it's a numerical. If you know the formula, kindly stop here and try to solve this. But if you don't know the formula, then yes, let us solve. Labor rate variance, you have to calculate the labor rate variance using the following data, that is standard rate, actual rate is given to you, actual hours is given to you, and standard hours is also given to you. Now you have your actual hours and the standard hours also. So you should know when you have to calculate the rate, you use the actual hours, right? So actual hours into standard rate minus the actual rate. Yes, this is the formula. So actual hours is how much? 500 into what is the standard rate? 2.5 minus actual rate 2.2. Just try to calculate this. This will be 0.3. 500 into 0.3, that will be how much? That will be 150. That will be 150, and it is coming in positive, so it is favorable. So it will be favorable. Answer is option number D, right? So this is the formula for labor rate variance that you should know, that is actual hours into standard rate minus the actual rate, right? So with this calculation, you just have to substitute the values and then you will get 150 favorable, right? So option number D is the correct answer. Coming to question number 10. Now, who is responsible if the raw material purchases are more expensive than expected? If the raw material purchases, so basically here the person who is going, he is not able to negotiate and वो ज़्यादा expensive buy कर रहा है ना? So who will be responsible? किसको पकड़ेंगे? So will we catch the production manager? No, production manager will say I am basically managing the production department. That is, if the raw material is being used more or less, so I'm seeing the usage of raw material, not its purchasing, then will I catch the finance manager? Finance manager says I am just authorizing money. Okay, I'm saying ki, okay, I'm giving you 20,000 for your purchases. Now you purchase 100 units out of it or 200 units out of it, I don't care. I'm just giving you, authorizing you the money. So basically finance department is just taking care of the accounts department, है ना? Then the purchase manager, can I hold this purchase manager responsible? Yes, purchase manager will be held responsible that okay, he has not negotiated well, okay, because he is going for the purchasing. So yes, the answer would be purchase manager. He will be held responsible if he is buying expensive products. Then marketing manager is basically held responsible for its selling. Okay, that means if he's selling the goods or for the finished goods, when he's going to the market for selling its finished products, basically it's not related to any production or purchases. Then operations manager will say I am handling all the production and the whole production department, that how is the workers doing and what is the activity that they are performing. I am not concerned about the purchases. So operations manager is also the incorrect one. So purchase manager is the correct answer. That is, he will be responsible, right? So option number C. Next, question number 11, that is, what term describes the implementation of a new or significantly improved production or delivery method, including significant changes in techniques, equipment, or software? So here I am trying to talk about that, okay, हमने improve करना है. There is an implementation of improved production or delivery method. So when I'm talking about a method, am I talking about the product? So product innovation can be the correct answer? No. Product के बारे में तो हम बात नहीं कर रहे. We are talking about the method, the production method or the delivery method, which also involves the changes in any technique, equipment or any software, right? So product innovation तो नहीं होगा. Then process innovation. When I'm talking about the method, change in the method, we are of course talking about changing the whole process from the start to end, है ना? The production and the delivery as well. So here, yes, we are talking about process innovation. We are talking about the changes in the process, right? Next is the business model innovation. Business model innovation क्या होता है कि when we are trying to change basically the whole business model. That means, for example, इसमें हम example लेते हैं, for example, Netflix. Netflix is trying to change its business model by changing the genre, or by changing the way people are watching, or by changing the method of payment, है ना? So basically changing the whole business model, that is known as business model innovation. So this is also incorrect. Then service innovation. Are we trying to change the services of the business? No, we are trying to change the production or delivery method. So here it will be wrong. And organizational innovation. So organizational innovation, like you can say, when I'm trying to change the hierarchy, or I'm trying to change the structure of my organization. So here I'm not changing that. So again, this will also be the incorrect option. So the answer is process innovation. Okay. Next, let us talk about the question number 12, that is, how is the effectiveness of the total productive maintenance measured? That is TPM. Okay, so total productive maintenance. So whenever we are talking about TPM, we should remember that we are talking about the equipments, that we are talking about the machines. What does TPM basically say? That there should be no breakdown है ना, कि we should try to be preventive as much as possible, कि कोई भी breakdown ना हो, कोई भी problem ना हो in between the production. So total productive maintenance, how do we measure that? Basically we measure it through the overall equipment effectiveness. The overall equipment effectiveness, where we see that if the product, the machine is available, its performance, and its third is the quality, right? So availability, performance, and the quality is measured in the overall equipment effectiveness. Okay, so how do we measure the effectiveness? We measure it through the overall equipment effectiveness, that how much the equipment is effective to produce certain goods. Okay, how much it is available, how it is performing, and what quality of the products that it is performing. Okay, so ROI, basically ROI is for the investments, है ना, for the long term investments, or basically financial gains. So it will not be the correct answer. Gross profit margin, again it is for the profits of the overall firm. So this is also not the correct answer. Net present value, this is also for the investments, that okay, what is the present value of the investments? So this is also not correct. Then customer satisfaction, is for the customer experiences, the customer perception, to basically measure that. So basically this is also incorrect. हम इधर productive maintenance की बात कर रहे हैं for the equipment. So customer satisfaction index will also be not the correct answer. The answer is overall equipment effectiveness, also known as OEE.
So this is the end of this particular video, my friends. I hope you enjoyed all the different discussions which we have done on the previous year questions. Thank you for watching the video, and I would like to end this particular video by telling you that EduTap has a very good course if you want to practice multiple MCQs. You can get that test series also for specifically for phase 2, which will help you to practice on multiple different concepts. And if you are done with practicing, if you have completed all the MCQs of phase 2, then definitely you can go towards our exclusive 4000 MCQ course, which we have specifically launched for SEBI Grade A students. So there is no reason that you should practice less MCQs. The more MCQs you practice, the better it is. You can definitely visit our website edutap.in, wherein you can see that what are these courses are all about. But as I told you, these courses are helped, or these courses are made rather to give you a platform to practice. And those who are practicing for the year 2026, or those who are practicing for next year, then definitely you can take a look towards our gold course and silver course, because these courses will include your recorded classes, your concept notes, summary sheet, multiple MCQs, right? So it will definitely take a longer time to complete the gold and silver one. So if you want to practice for the next year to come, then definitely gold and silver courses are very good. In gold course you will get entire material for phase 1, for phase 2, and for interview also. In silver course you will only get the material of phase 2 plus interview, right? So that's it. Have a great day ahead, and I wish you all the very best.